My beloved child, pause for a moment. Do not rush another step. A hand is quietly draining the treasure within you, not of silver or gold, but of faith, peace, and gratitude. Tonight I have not come to soothe you, but to lift the veil from that thief. If you do not recognize him sooner or later, you will become a beggar in your own sacred life, holding out your hands for a crumb of wonder from empty promises. I see you trusting in shortcuts, places where people swear that if your faith hits the right note and your prayer lands at the right hour, miracles will pour like a stream. But child, no miracle exists to indulge the hurried. A miracle is not a stairway that skips suffering. It is a small lamp guiding you through the night, step by step, breath by faithful breath. I do not give you an easy escape. I give you the strength not to run. A miracle is not a charm. Let us begin with honesty. Miracles do not respond to deadlines or slogans. They do not spring from a shout or a perfectly timed click. A miracle belongs to the sovereignty of God, not to psychological maneuvers. The mature in faith know how to distinguish trust from credulity. They understand that the reflex of knock the right phrase, open the right door, is a transactional mindset, not worship. God acts according to his timing and purpose, not the scripts written for views or for a life changed overnight. God's power does not replace labor and responsibility. True faith does not make you idle. It makes you venture forth. When you ask for a miracle, God often places work in your hands, for in your sweat, he is already blessing you. Prayer must walk with planning, discipline, and integrity in your daily work. Lasting breakthrough rises from skill, perseverance, and hands that keep working when no one is watching. Blessing does not cancel financial responsibility. Recording, repaying, living with restraint. This is how you prove you are mature enough for God to trust you with more. Blessing is not the same as luxury. Success is not proof of divine approval. Amid the noise of channels flaunting favor, it is easy to confuse grace with material treasure. But true blessing does not glitter like diamonds. It rests quietly in peace, righteousness, and contentment. God may use lack to teach you wisdom and abundance to test your humility. The measure of the kingdom is not found on a richest list, but in a heart that gives thanks even when all that remains is a crust of bread and a flicker of unextinguished faith. I see a light in your eyes tinged with worry, like one who has lost direction at the crossroads of faith and illusion. You are seeking a miracle and losing the meaning of miracle itself. You want me to move faster, clearer, louder. You hope to see seas part, loaves multiply, sickness vanish, so your heart can rest and the world's mouth be stopped. But child, I am not a stage magician pleasing an audience. Miracles are not born of fevered haste or hollow cries. They rise from obedience and silence. When I am silent, it is not because I have forsaken you, but because I am testing whether your faith will stand when the stage lights go out. I remember the story of Naaman, the mighty commander, stricken with leprosy, 2 Kings 5. He came to the prophet Elisha, expecting a grand rite, a miracle befitting a general. But Elisha said only, "Go wash in the Jordan 7 times. He stormed away, offended that the remedy seemed too ordinary, unworthy of a marvel. Do you see, true faith rarely shouts. It is the quiet step of one who humbles himself. Only when Naaman bowed his head and stepped into that muddy water was he made clean. The miracle was not in the water, it was in obedience. Likewise, if you want glittering ritual but refuse a changed heart, 100 Jordans cannot wash a single speck of pride from your soul. Many have turned miracles into a sacred access code, say, the right line, press the right button, repeat it 7 times and expect heaven's door to swing open. They forget that I am not controlled by formulas nor bound by the frequency of your requests. Child faith is not a command sent up to heaven. It is a surrender breathed from earth. When you pray, I do not hear with ears alone, I read your motives. If faith is only a ticket to a new life, then you are worshiping your dream, not the Most High. I do not grant miracles to satisfy greed. I use them to awaken a sleeping soul. There are those who speak in my name to peddle secrets that turn prayer into magic and grace into merchandise. They turn the altar into a stage and petitions into sales pitches. Child, be on guard against such voices. They do not call you nearer to me. They lead you nearer to your own ambitions. Miracles do not come to exalt the receiver, but to honor the giver. When a miracle becomes a way to show off faith, it has lost its soul. Beware of anyone who convinces you that I dwell only in dazzling light. I often hide myself in the dark places where you do not wish to stoop. Do you know why miracles do not unfold according to your script? Because I do not want you merely to watch. I want you to enter the process. If I answered every wish in an instant, you would forget how to pray with tears. You would forget that faith grows not by what you see, but by what you endure. The truest miracle is not when disease dissolves, money pours in, or doors swing wide. The truest miracle is that you still have the heart to believe when nothing has changed. The very moment you choose faithfulness without yet seeing results, heaven records that small great miracle. And then you will understand what you call delay is how I save you from disaster. If Naaman had been cleansed in the first second, he would have kept the leprosy of pride. If I grant a miracle before you are ready, it will kill your soul faster than lack ever could. So when I postpone it is not indifference, it is school. When I am quiet, it is not avoidance, it is an examination. If you will remain long enough, your faith will cease to demand a miracle to believe. It will believe and then behold a miracle. Remember, my child, a miracle is not a shortcut out of pain, but a light to walk through pain without being devoured. Do not pray for a shorter road, pray for stronger feet. I have not promised a red carpet, but I have promised to walk with you on the stony path. One day when you look back, you will see, I was not slow, I was precise. It was not a lack of miracles, but miracles in a form you had not imagined, the healing of your heart, though circumstances remained the same. Keep your heart still. Do not chase keys to open heaven, nor compare your faith to another's. Let miracles come like breath, natural, gentle, true. When you live uprightly, work faithfully, and love sincerely, that is already a miracle in a world collapsing under deceit. And in the ordinary, I am doing the extraordinary through your hands, your eyes, and even your tears. Therefore, do not come to me only to demand a miracle. Come to learn how to live worthy of one. When your faith runs deep, the simplest things become wondrous. You will no longer need signs and wonders to prove that I am real, for the peace within you will testify on my behalf. And that, child, is precisely where I desire to bring you, to a place where faith needs no charms and miracles need no spotlight. And when you understand that a miracle is no charm, you will begin to see that my power does not come to replace your labor, but to uphold the one who obeys within labor. It is there where hands are calloused and small plans are carried out faithfully day by day that I am preparing something greater than any marvel you ever asked for. Child, I know there are days you are exhausted when you look around and see only your sweat hitting the ground with no fruit in sight. You ask me to grant favor, to lighten the burden, smooth the road, and level the rough places. But if I lifted every load from your shoulders, you would never learn to carry your cross with love. My power does not come to work in your place. It comes to sanctify the work you do. I do not set bread on the table, but I give you seed and hands. When you labor with faithfulness, I walk beside you, weaving an unseen miracle into every drop of sweat. Long ago I fed Israel in the wilderness with manna. Yet notice, manna fell for 6 days, and on the 7th I commanded rest. They had to go out each morning and stoop to gather. I could have flooded their tents with manna, but I did not, because I wanted them not only to eat, but to learn labor and discipline. Do you see? I have never turned life into sorcery. I have turned labor into liturgy. When you work with a grateful heart, whether in an office, a factory, or a crowded market, a hymn of praise rises to me from that very place. No task is lowly if it is done in faith and love. Yet people love to skip the process. They want to pray so that money arrives by itself, doors open by themselves, and favor rains down like a summer downpour. They approach me like a blessing dispenser, insert a prayer, wait for a miracle. They do not know that when you kneel to pray and then rise to work, I am in both moments. When you are diligent, honest, and responsible, in the smallest task you do what delights me. Child, do not ask me to work instead of you. Ask me to teach you to work with a soul led by the Holy Spirit. At times you fault me for not flipping the switch of power, for not hurling you past your limits. But I know that if you do not learn responsibility, A miracle will only inflate your pride. I do not want you only to receive, I want you to steward. The one who receives blessing without discipline will soon squander grace. So when I allow you to wrestle with time, finances, relationships, it is not abandonment. It is a lesson for your growth. Do not fear delay, for within every delay, I am teaching you to walk in step with me. Remember the parable of the talents, Matthew 25. The master did not hand out wishes. He entrusted work, and in the very act of increasing and being faithful, favor was doubled. Child, do not wish that I turn stones into gold for you. Wish that I teach you to see value in the stone. Do not wait for a miracle to begin. Begin with the smallest act. My power is there in the hand that writes, in the mother who tends her child, in the laborer, keeping the night shift, in the young person true to conscience. These may seem ordinary, but to me they are a crown of gold. Be wary of the sweet lie, just believe hard, do nothing. God will handle it. I care, but I care for the faithful, not the fugitive. I want you to learn to steward your money, your time, and even your words. When you repay on time, live with restraint and refuse deceit in your books. I am more pleased than by 1,000 empty songs. Faith without works is dead, child. Tears cannot substitute for responsibility. Prayer cannot substitute for a plan. Ask not for a miracle to escape work, but for wisdom to do it well. You may think I am small. My work is too insignificant. But look at Joseph, sold as a slave, a steward, a prisoner. Wherever he was, he worked with all his heart. In prison itself, I opened the path to a throne. Had Joseph neglected his duties in disappointment, he would never have seen the dream I gave him come true. My power is always hidden in human diligence. Faithfulness is the language that moves heaven. I want you to know, grace never cancels labor. It gives labor meaning. When you work with an enlightened heart, your sweat becomes holy oil and every effort becomes prayer. The world may see only the task, but I see the loyalty. When you step into the marketplace, do not let faith live only on your lips. Let it live in your conduct, your calculations, and your choices. Then my power will be revealed through your very hands without any other dazzling miracle. And one day when you look back over the stormy miles, you will realize the greatest miracle was not that I erased every hardship, but that you kept faith through them all. In the journey of labor and responsibility, you are drawing nearer to the kingdom where every drop of faithful sweat is transfigured into everlasting glory. When you understand that my power does not come to do instead of you, but to work with you, not to shorten the road, but to strengthen you upon it, you will learn the next truth, that real blessing is not housed in outward luxury nor equated with success the world applauds. For there are times I give abundance to test the heart, and times I give lack to teach humility. On that delicate threshold you will begin to understand what true blessing is. There is a kind of light people often mistake for glory, the glare of glamour, the things that make others look up and gasp. Child, I see many who bear my name yet display blessing like a trophy before the world. They imagine wealth proves that God is with them, and scarcity proves disfavor. But I tell you truly, golden shine is not always my light. Some riches come from honest sweat, and some treasures from cunning and deceit. True blessing does not live in an account balance, but in a soul that knows enough, gives thanks, and rests in peace. Long ago Israel thought, if we have meat and bread and sweet water, surely the Lord is pleased. Yet when they were full, they forgot the one who fed them in the wilderness. Childfulness is not always favor. Sometimes it is a sweet stupor that lulls the soul to sleep. I can use want to teach you trust, and I can use plenty to test your heart. Remember King Solomon, wisest and wealthiest of men, yet that very abundance tilted his heart, and he forgot me for idols. Luxury can make you feel blessed. Add a little pride, and it turns blessing into a honeyed snare. Success, my child, is a double-edged sword. On one side it is the fruit of your labor and the wisdom I give. On the other, it can easily lure you into thinking you are the center of the miracle. When you attain what you seek, you may forget that I am the one who opened the way and kept you in peace while the world trembled. You will find it strange some succeed and still feel empty, while others have little and yet smile in quiet peace. For true blessing is not found in the place where you stand, but in the direction you face. If success pulls you away from me, it is failure wrapped in gold. But if failure bends your knees and brings you home, it is a hidden blessing. I once gave Job everything, children, wealth, and honor. Then in a moment it was all taken away. People thought I had withdrawn my favor. Yet Job knelt and said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be his name." Do you see, true faith does not rise and fall with your wallet or your health. It clings to me when all else collapses. If you can thank me only in plenty, your faith is still young, but when you can still give thanks in the night, that is when I know you have grown. This world crowns those who succeed at any cost, but I teach you a different road, the narrow way, where blessing is not measured by mansions but by a steadfast heart in righteousness. You may live in a simple home resounding with laughter, and it is worth more than a cold, sprawling estate. You may have only a few coins, but if they are earned with clean hands, they shine brighter than gold. I do not look at your standard of living. I look at the way you live. Nobility is not born of what you possess, but of how you keep your soul both in abundance and in lack. Do not let the world steal the meaning of blessing from your heart. They will tell you blessing is having much. I tell you blessing is knowing enough. They will say blessing is being esteemed. I teach that blessing is becoming humble. They race to win. I teach you to lose for love. Do not fear being called unwise by the world, for when you choose righteousness over advantage, I receive you among the wise of my kingdom. I do not need you to outshine others. I need you to shine within your own darkness. There is one thing I want you to remember always. True blessing is never severed from the cross. Through suffering I accomplished redemption. If I did not avoid the cross, then do not flee your trials. Every tear shed for righteousness is a raindrop that greens your soul. Every time you refuse deceit, though it costs you, heaven marks the moment. I do not promise you a life without tears, but I promise to turn those tears into a river of grace. So when you see others prosper, do not hurry to envy. Ask me, Lord, what do you want me to learn from them? And when you are blessed, do not rush to pride. Ask me, Lord, how shall I use this blessing and not lose you? All that you hold today is only for a time. The one eternal thing is the communion between you and me. Do not turn blessing into a badge of rank. Let it become a bridge that brings you nearer to me. If there comes a time when every door seems closed and every dream falls apart, remember it may not be punishment, but my way of protecting you from yourself. I take the glittering away so you can see what truly shines. When I withhold, it is not because you are unworthy, but because I am preparing you for something deeper, a blessing not for the eyes of men, but for a soul that has learned to bow. And when you finally see that true blessing is not in luxury nor complete in success, you will begin to grasp another secret. The trials of life are not my delays, but the classroom of faith. There I teach you to wait, to endure, and to trust, until one day you recognize that even delay is a miracle in disguise. There are long nights when you lie staring at the ceiling, heart clenched, because your prayer has not been answered. You tell me you have believed, persevered, remained faithful, so why has the miracle not come? My child, I do not move by the calendar you set, and my delay is not neglect. Sometimes I hold back not because you lack worth, but because I am forging a heart stronger than your hands. Trials are not barricades to halt you, but examinations that reveal how far you trust me. If I granted every request the moment you spoke, your faith would never grow beyond a child begging for gifts. When I led Israel out of Egypt, I did not bring them into the promised land at once, though I could have done it in a day. I led them through the wilderness, through burning sand, parching thirst, and treeless horizons, because there man has no one to lean on but me. There I taught them to trust without seeing, to walk without understanding, to live without immediate answers. So with you, your faith grows only as you step through what remains unclear. Each day of endurance, each hour of waiting, is a lesson in the school of faith where the diploma is peace, not success. I know you struggle with my silence. You want me to speak a sign, a word to steady your restless heart. But I choose to be still because in silence I teach you the language of the inner life where the spirit whispers without sound. If I always thundered replies, you would never learn to hear the gentle wind. True faith is not measured by how often you hear me, but by how faithfully you walk when you hear nothing. My silence is not a void, it is the space where your faith can grow. Remember Lazarus. When he was dying, Martha and Mary sent word, "Lord, the one you love is sick." Yet I did not come at once. 2 days later, Lazarus died. They thought it was over, that I had arrived too late. But when I came, I called the dead to life so the world would know I was not late. I came precisely when the Father's glory would be revealed. What you call late in the present may be right on time in my design. You cannot see the whole, so do not conclude that my silence means I do nothing. In that silence, miracles are already germinating, simply not yet large enough for your eyes to see. Some, when trial comes, turn their backs, thinking I have forgotten them. But trial is not a sign of distance. It is my invitation to deeper communion. Trials force you to be honest. Do you trust in me, or in the gift you hope to receive? When I remove your outer supports, you discover there is only one place to cling to me. And when you cling to me instead of complaining, you cross the threshold into spiritual maturity. There are no shortcuts to steadfast faith. It is forged in the fire of suffering. The world teaches you to avoid pain. I teach you to embrace it and still keep your peace, because I have gone before you on that road. I was shamed, scorned, and crucified, not because I was weak, but to teach you that true victory is not painlessness, but love sustained through pain. Trial is a furnace. The more you endure, the purer your soul becomes. When you learn to smile in the storm, you are living in a power greater than miracles. Do not fear delay anymore. With me, every moment keeps perfect time. When I say not yet, it does not mean no. When I hold you back, it is not refusal. I may be shielding you from what you cannot yet see. I am never late. Only you arrive early in your anxiety. Trust me. Do not look at the calendar. Look at my faithfulness, the one who has never failed a promise. One day you will realize that in the waiting, you are being transformed. Faith will no longer be the demand that wonders occur, but the peace you carry before they do. You will know that not every prayer must be answered, for sometimes the unanswered one keeps you from breaking. When you understand this, you have graduated from the school of faith, where every test becomes a step into maturity, and every tear a certificate of fidelity. And when you know that trial is not delay, you will be ready for something deeper, still returning to the foundations of true faith, where my word, the church, and honest silence become the pure waters that wash away every illusion. Only when you learn to be still can you truly hear my voice amid the world's clamor. After miracles, after trials and tears, there comes a strange quiet in the soul where the world's noise fades, yet your heart is not at rest. This is when I invite you home. Not to retreat into resignation, but to return to the source where you first heard my voice. For years you wandered, chasing wonders and sweeter promises than my own words. Now I want you to sit to silence the world's shouting and hear the simplest truth you forgot. I am still here in the Word, in the church, in the silence. Only when you stop will you discover that peace was not where you searched, but where you left it behind. Do you remember Samuel as a child in the temple? He heard the call 3 times and thought it was Eli. Only when Eli said, "When you hear that voice answer, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening," did Samuel recognize me. My child, I have called you many times like that, through unfinished dreams, through failures that bow your head, even through the weariness of your soul. But you do not hear, because you are busier asking than listening. You read Scripture as if hunting prophecies, not seeking me. You come to church for eloquent sermons, not to accept correction. I want you to return, not to hear more, but to hear deeper, to listen with the heart, not merely with the ears. My word is not ink on a page. It is living breath, a double-edged sword piercing soul and spirit. Hebrews 4:1-2. Read without meditation, and the word lies silent. Yield to its pruning, healing, and light, and you will see yourself reborn day by day. Many chase new revelations while refusing Scripture, which contains all that is needed for salvation. They hunt for spiritual secrets and forget that the greatest secret is to live what has already been revealed. Do not seek something new. Live deeply what is old for. My word does not age. Only human hearts grow shallow. The church, my child, is not a flawless place. It is full of the weak, the erring, and those still learning holiness. Yet in that fragile company I am present. You cannot grow in faith alone, just as a coal cannot burn when taken from the fire. When you drift from the church, you are prone to your own illusions, imagining you are wise enough to discern while you are only lost among echoes of yourself. Return not because the church is perfect, but because I dwell amid its imperfection. I use imperfect people to shape you into steadfastness. In the church you will receive counsel, endure correction, and learn to love even when wounded. That is true love proved in friction and patience. There will come a time when you need something deeper than words, silence. Not the silence of loneliness, but the hush of a soul aware it stands before the Holy One. Silence is not escape, it is clarity. When you sit without speaking, without petition, simply breathing and being present. I will come. I do not need your noise to notice you. I need your quiet so you can notice me. In silence, the motives once masked by piety grow clear. You will see that sometimes you seek my will only to sanctify your own. Silence trains discernment to know what is from me and what is born of your desire. Returning is not an easy road. It asks you to stop, to face yourself, to let go. But when you come back, all the false echoes fade and one voice remains, I still love you. That love does not promise wealth or fame. It promises peace in storms, guidance in fog, and rest in toil. Put Scripture before your eyes, keep the church around you, and keep silence within. These are the three pillars that will hold you steady in a tottering age. And when you stand firm, you will no longer need to seek miracles, for your life itself will become one. Every decision lit by the Word, every deed sanctified in community, every breath sustained by silence, these will let my light shine through you without your needing to prove anything. Then your faith will cease to be beautiful words and become a beautiful presence. This is the final miracle I long to work in you, to make you quiet, steadfast, and radiant in a chaotic world. Go then, my child. No haste, no hurry. Walk slowly and truly. Read my word daily. Remain in the fellowship. Keep your heart still and listening. You will discover that the miracle is not only in what you see, but in how you live, honest, enduring, and loving to the end. And then you will understand, faith does not end in dazzling light, but in deep stillness where your soul and I meet with nothing left to say, only love alive. My child, open your heart and receive, for this season is no longer one of tears or regret, but a season of rebirth, where all that once lay shattered is being joined together by my very hand. The hand that touched the dust to form you, the hand that lifted you out of the depths when the world believed you could no longer rise. Every wound you have borne, every fracture in your soul that seemed beyond healing, is now being sealed with the anointing oil of a new joy, a restoration wrought not by human strength, but by my power moving in stillness. Beloved, there are things I am doing that your eyes have not yet seen, preparations behind the veil that your ears have not yet heard, yet know with certainty that not a single drop of your sweat has been meaningless. Each night you lay your head upon worry, each choked prayer you uttered in the dark has been inscribed in my book. And now is the hour I open a new chapter, a chapter of abundance, of recompense, of ascent, after the long years of waiting. Beloved child, do not fear when I begin to shift the things around you. This movement may unsettle you, may make you feel as though the familiar is slipping away, but in truth I am clearing the path for a greater blessing. Like the storm wind before the sky turns clear, there are losses that seem fierce, yet are merely the preparation for new ground to bloom. I am changing the garment of your life, replacing the mourning cloak of sorrow with the robe of glory. Those who once pitied you will stand amazed, unable to fathom how one who fell so hard could rise with such radiance in your eyes, with the bearing of one who has learned the meaning of suffering. They will not know that through all the days you felt lost, I walked beside you in silence, loosening every invisible knot, rewriting every story the world had written wrongly. Child, it was in the days you believed you had nothing left to give that I began to plant the seeds of miracles. Miracles do not always come with thunder or blinding light. Sometimes they are the gentlest breeze across the soul, and suddenly you know that pain no longer frightens you. I have used loss to teach you the worth of presence, used loneliness to train your heart to love without demand, to trust without sight. And now, as the time is fulfilled, and the soil of your heart is softened by so many tears, I will sow into it blessings, No one can take away a peace that is not born of circumstance, a joy that does not depend on outcomes, a steadfast faith that I, the one who fashioned you, am still writing the story of your life. Do not dwell on what has been lost, for I will not only restore but multiply. Opportunities that seem to have slipped away will return in another form, fuller, truer, made complete. You will see that not a single moment was wasted along the way, for every step, even the missteps, led you back to me. The place where you wept will become the place where you sing. The place where you fell will become the altar of your thanksgiving. Child, what I give you is not merely money or possessions, but inner freedom, freedom from fear, from shame, from the gaze of others. When you know you belong to me, nothing can make you small again. Look around you, the angels of mine encircle your dwelling like warriors guarding the borders of blessing. No power in the shadows can touch the inheritance I have set apart for you. I have sealed it with my own promise. Your portion is not a passing stroke of luck, but a legacy founded upon everlasting faithfulness. You have sown in tears. Now you will reap in laughter. And when you look back, you will see that in those very days of hardship, your faith was refined like pure gold, brighter, truer, and no longer afraid of being lost. I know there were times you doubted and asked, why do others seem to walk an easy road while mine is so rough? But child, the chosen souls must pass through the furnace to become light for others. You are blessed not for yourself alone. You are called to be a living witness to my unchanging love. One day those who mocked you will come seeking the secret of your peace, and you will tell them it was never by your striving, but by yielding yourself into the hands of the one who never lets go. When I say I will restore double, it is not a promise of material things alone. I will give back the years stolen from your soul, the half-finished dreams, the stifled laughter, the hopes buried beneath the ashes of failure. I will breathe life into them all, and they will live again stronger than before. You will understand that true wisdom is not born of success, but of the falls from which you did not quit. Those long, restless nights taught you to hear the voice in the wind. My voice gentle, yet mighty tender, yet full of authority. And when the new season arrives, you will step out no longer trembling, no longer afraid of comparison. You will know that everything comes in its appointed time. A tree cannot blossom in winter, but when spring returns, nothing can keep it from flowering. So too have I let you pass through a long winter, that your roots might grow deep, that your faith might cleave to the rock. Now as the sun of grace rises, the flowers of your blessing will burst forth and will not wither. Child, what I am doing in your life cannot be stolen. I have commanded the windows of heaven to open. A river of abundance will run through every corner of your days, not only in provision, but in relationships, in your inner life, in your health, in your laughter. Every field that lay barren will be watered by the rain of blessing. And when others ask, what happened to you? You will need few words, only a smile, and this answer, the Lord remembered me. For the greatest wonder is not in the wealth I am about to bestow, but in the renewal taking place within you. You will see life differently, love others differently, and that very gaze will draw favor. As you live in gratitude, blessing will find you as rivers return to the sea. I will cause everything you touch to carry the warmth of heaven. Your work will bear fruit, your words will bring hope, and your very presence will become a shelter of peace. You will live no longer as a borrower, but as one who has received an inheritance. You will live no longer from the fear of lack, but from the certainty that every need is already supplied. You will no longer strive to prove your worth, for you will understand that my love for you has never depended on performance. You will learn to rest in grace, not laziness, but a deep trust that I am still working for you even when you see nothing. I will bring new people into your life, not those who come to use you, but those who will build with you. The old bonds that wounded you will be replaced by sacred connections. I will surround you with companions who share your heart and faith and purpose. You will no longer walk this road alone, for I am raising a community around you, souls once broken, who now rebuild together the sanctuary of hope. And know this, child, this resurrection is not a fleeting marvel, but a new foundation. You will not merely survive, you will live in fullness. You will not merely walk, you will soar on the wings of understanding. Every old chain will be broken, every former limit dissolved. I will enlarge your borders and stretch your vision beyond what you ever dared to dream. Creative ideas will flow like a spring, and doors once sealed will open as though the very universe were consenting to my design. Child, this is the hour of true change. I do not want you merely successful. I want you free to love, to give, to live a life that matters. Financial breakthrough is but the outward sign of an inner revival. When your soul is healed, the stream of blessing will flow of itself, for I have placed within you a well that never runs dry. Believe that nothing is too late, for in me every beginning can be born anew. And when you look back upon the road you have traveled, regret will fade and only gratitude will remain. You will see that everything that happened was part of a larger tapestry, the masterpiece I am completing. You will bow your head not in shame but in wonder at my kindness. Hold fast to your faith, child, for what I have begun in you will not be left unfinished. This is the season of light, of promises fulfilled, of doors thrown open not by human strength but by my hand, the hand that chose you, loves you, and will never forget you. The path you walked was never a corridor of punishment, but a school of formation where every tear turned into a seed of strength and every stumble became a witness to resurrecting grace. In the hush of long nights when no glimmer seemed to remain, I stood there neither distant nor turned away quietly, watching you learn how to trust, how to wait, how to stand when all seemed to fall apart. You thought I had forgotten you, yet in those very days of apparent despair I was writing your story with heaven's ink. Every endurance I have remembered, every sobbing prayer I have gathered as fragrance before the throne of glory. Not a single tear of yours has fallen unmeasured by me, not a single pain without a sacred purpose. I had to teach you to believe when there was nothing to see, for true faith does not grow among roses but among thorns. I had to teach you to love in a cold world, that you might know love is not a feeling but a decision to stand with the light while night surrounds you. I had to teach you to be still in the storm, for only in quiet can your soul hear my voice. Every delay you resented was in truth a runway for your precise arrival, the moment where grace and calling meet, where blessing ceases to be a dream and becomes a heritage. You were not postponed. You were refined to carry what I had prepared. Now that you have passed through the furnace and your heart knows how to kneel not only from sorrow but from gratitude, I say to you, the season of hiding is over. Heaven's gates are open, and the blessing I have long held for you is pouring out, not to startle you, but to make you know I never left. I do not desire you merely to be blessed. I desire you to become the blessing itself, like a spring flowing through barren lands, like a light guiding wandering souls. You will live not to receive, but to give. You will no longer chase what you desire, for those very things will seek you out, because I have placed within you the spirit of Joseph, the one betrayed, sold, and forgotten, whom I raised to be a refuge for many. Like Joseph, you have known years of obscurity, the cramped rooms of loneliness and trial. But child, within that darkness I have carved you into the shape of one who carries grace. Without the prison there is no throne. Without betrayal you would not understand forgiveness. Everything that once drew tears will become a testimony to my power. People will ask, how did you rise from ruins to glory? And your answer will not be talent or chance, but a simple, profound confession, my God has done this. Then you will no longer beg nor wait for others to rescue you, for I have set you in a place of authority. You will not be a borrower but a giver. You will not hunt for an open door, for I myself am the door. What you once pursued will now run to find you, for you do not walk alone, the Almighty strides with you. The fears that chained you will tremble before my presence in you, and the rejections that once broke you will be drowned by my commanding voice. No one can shut what I open, and no power can hold you down when I say, come up. If you are reading these words and your heart is stirred, this is not a passing feeling but the cleansing of your soul. Let my word flow through your life like living water, washing every wound, every outdated memory, every decayed fear. Say, I love the Lord not only with your lips but with your whole life, for when you confess this love, heaven moves. My hand is strong enough to lift you from the pit of debt, wide enough to shatter every shackle the enemy set upon you. My decree thunders louder than every refusal. My power is greater than every force. When I proclaim breakthrough, hell must fall silent. When I say, now no power dares delay. You have endured many years of storm. Now the harvest comes. I will cause you to gather not only what you have sown, but also what your forebears never had time to reap. Blessing will fall upon your house like the first rains overflowing from generation to generation. You will stand as a witness to a holy truth. No delay is meaningless, no sorrow useless when it rests in my hands. Those who laughed at you will behold the glory I pour upon you. They will see the undeniable change and say, "Only God could have done this." You will no longer fear failure, for you have learned that failure is not an ending but the doorway to new guidance. You will no longer treat trial as an enemy, for now you know trial is the very hand that sets you into the anointed place. I am clothing you with the mantle of wisdom, crowning you with steadfastness, and filling you with the spirit of gratitude. Every old curse is broken, every limit lifted, every wall you once struck is becoming the foundation beneath your feet. Look back and you will find me in every detail, in the sweat, in the pleas, even in the doors that closed. You thought they were obstacles, but they were protection. You thought I was silent, but I was speaking in another tongue, through arrangement, through timing, through the people you met, through the dreams you did not yet understand. All you need is to keep walking, for what I promised does not change. Your time has come. Not the time you wished for, but the time I appointed, perfect, precise, and heavy with purpose. Prepare your heart, for the blessing I am releasing will not only change your life, but touch those around you. The light within you will show the way for others. Your faith will raise those who have fallen. You will be my answer to someone else's prayer. As you walk in obedience, I will make what seemed impossible plain. You will find me in small things, in a stranger's smile, in the coincidence that is really design. Doubt no more, for I have not only heard, I am acting. I am turning the tide, moving mountains, and transforming what once buried you into your launching ground. Remember, when I decide to bless, none can hinder. When I choose you, none can replace you. And even now, over your roof, over your work, over your family, I declare, breakthrough has come. So lift up your head. Do not gaze at what has been lost, but look to me, the one who makes all things new. Walk as one who has overcome. Speak as one who is saved. Live as one sent on a mission. For you are no longer a victim. You are living proof of the kindness of God. The former days were only the prelude to a symphony of glory about to rise. And when people ask you, "How do you still stand in the storm?" you will smile and answer, "Because the hand of the Lord is holding me." Now, as you stand at the crossroads of a new season, know that nothing is happening by accident. Every wind that passes, every tear that falls, every moment you feel alone, each is weaving a sacred tapestry that only in hindsight will reveal how skillfully my hand arranged every thread of your destiny. You think you are stalled, but I am drawing you out of the small to make room for the great. You think you are lost, yet in that very maze I am placing the compass of faith into your hand. Not everyone will understand you, for this journey is not for the crowd. It is written for you alone, your name engraved upon the covenant of heaven. When you see a door close, do not weep. There are doors I shut with my own hand, not to deny you, but to open another that leads you into a greater light, where you will no longer beg for opportunity. Opportunity will come seeking you to honor you. Do not let the fears of the past choke the heartbeat of the present. The past has no power over you, for you have been redeemed, cleansed, and reestablished in my name. The very events that once shattered you have become the foundation upon which I am building a new house of blessing. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone, for I have sealed you with the signet of heaven. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the evidence of grace. You have passed through fire, and were not burned through waters, and were not overwhelmed, for I am with you. Every step you take bears the imprint of a miracle, only often you do not see it. When others walked away, I stepped in. When earthly arms let go, mine held tighter. Do not fear when I take away. I take only to give you what is more enduring, more pure, more whole. I am teaching you to see beyond your circumstances, to know that grace never runs dry, whether your purse is empty or human hearts have changed. I do not want you to live by hoarding reserves. I want you to live by faith. I did not call you to count trickles of blessing, but to become a river overflowing with grace to others. You are a light set upon a hill, not to be hidden in the dark. Those who once despised you will have to acknowledge my hand upon you. No curse can stand when praise rises from your lips. No plan of the enemy can prevail when you choose to believe me beyond what your eyes can see. You are not losing. You are being forged. The slow days are not failure. They are the time in which I am sharpening your sword. When you grasp this, you will cease comparing, cease fretting, cease wandering, for you will know that when I act, everything becomes perfect. Do not be surprised when I leave you alone. In solitude, you will hear my voice most clearly. In stillness, you will perceive what I am doing beneath the surface of your life. A seed cannot sprout while it remains above the ground. It must be hidden, dark, unseen. You think you are buried, but in truth you are being sown. Trust that the season of rising is coming, the season of fruit is near. Be steadfast, for what is great takes time to bloom. The cedar does not grow in a night, and true blessing is never born of haste. As you learn to rest in me, you will understand that delay is not denial, it is preparation. I see you in your quiet labor, when you keep praying though nothing appears to change. I see your faithfulness when no one applauds. I see the tears you wipe away, so others will not notice. And I promise not one of your tears falls to the ground without yielding a harvest. Every prayer you lift, every step you take in faith, every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, these together are forming a current of blessing in which one day you will be immersed. Remember, I never forget. I record not only your triumphs but also your failures, for within those failures I see the courage that refuses to give up. Now I am calling you into a season of unveiling where what was hidden will be brought into the light. What I have done in secret I will display before many, not for boasting, but so that those who doubted you will see my glory shining through your life. I am lifting you up not to place you above others, but to give you a broader view that you might lead those still wandering. You will stand as proof that faithfulness is never in vain, that even a mustard seed of belief can move heaven. The words I have spoken do not return empty. You may have forgotten, but I never forget what I have promised. When I say I will, it means I have already begun. Though your eyes do not yet see it, the process is underway. I am aligning people, circumstances, and even environments, so that at the appointed time, everything will interlock perfectly, like the destined pieces of a puzzle. Do not try to force a door before its hour, for what comes too early will crack. Leave the timing to me, for I know when you are ready. I do not want you to receive a blessing only to lose it for lack of maturity to hold it. When I say you are coming through, it is not mere encouragement. It is a heavenly reality. You are crossing the barren ground into a land flowing with milk and honey. You are leaving the wilderness to step onto fertile plains, but remember, every new advance requires surrendering some part of the old. Release what once served you but has finished its season. Do not cling to relationships I have severed, nor to doors I have locked. Trust that I am opening what is better, what is right, what truly belongs to you. You may still be facing debts, pressures, and the silence of those who once promised to help. But you are not forgotten. You are being repositioned. What seems to be breaking is not to destroy you, but to reshape you. When you feel pushed out of your comfort, it is the sign that I am leading you into a realm of glory. Lift your head high. You are no longer a pawn of circumstance, but a bearer of the authority of the kingdom. What you speak, heaven answers. What you decree, earth aligns. This is the power given to the chosen. I do not desire only that you possess wealth. I desire that you possess peace of soul, what no money can buy. I want you to sleep soundly in the storm, to smile when no path is yet visible. For when your heart is still, miracles take root. I am teaching you the art of rest, not idleness, but movement born of trust. When you cease striving in your own strength, I begin to do what you cannot. When you lay down your burdens, I lift them away. When you say I surrender, I say I will act. I know the dreams you thought had died, the hopes you buried for fear of another disappointment. But I tell you, do not entomb those dreams. Bring them out and lay them again upon the altar of prayer. I am the one who calls the dead to life. Your dream has not vanished, it is sleeping. And at the right time I will awaken it. I will cause what seemed closed to flower once more, and old promises to sound with a new voice. No one and nothing can keep me from completing the plan I have for you. When you look back, you will understand why I did not let everything come sooner. Glory given before you were steady would have crushed you. But now, after years of learning to trust, you are ready to carry glory without being consumed by it. You will know that every success is by me, not by your strength. And in that humility I will pour even more grace. You will become a channel of favor to others, a living testimony that God still works wonders. Be strong, my child, for what is coming is not small. The door is open, and I am calling your name among the many. Prepare your heart, for the season of fullness has arrived. Make room in your mind for larger ideas, for fresher visions. I will give you sight beyond old limits and strength to enter places no one has trod. You will not only receive, you will become a giver. You will speak and see your words take form. You will go where I send you, and blessing will follow you, as a shadow follows form. And when all is accomplished, when you stand amid what I promised, and it has become reality, you will not boast but bow and say, "It is by the Lord." For you will know it was never random. It was my hand that led you here step by step, breath by breath, night by night in prayer. You will see that nothing you endured was meaningless. It forged the strength, depth, and steadiness you carry today. Then you will look back at the storms and smile, for by the storm you learned the power of faith. Now the sacred hour has opened, not a vague promise, but a reality woven from your steadfast heart. I will make your story a lamp for those who despair, so that when they look upon it they will know waiting is never wasted. You are living proof that even when the world turns away, an unseen hand upholds you, and a grace beyond reason prevails. What the enemy tried to steal I have kept in heaven's treasury, and now I return it to you multiplied and radiant. Not a single moment of your journey was random. Every step, every wound, every failure I have etched into time like notes in a symphony of destiny. I did not let you receive early, for blessings given to the unsteady become burdens, but now you have grown your shoulders broad enough to bear the glory I have prepared. When the door opens, it will not be luck, it will bear my seal. This breakthrough is not happenstance, but the fruit of many hidden seasons of forging. I chose this moment, the very hour when you trust yourself rightly and understand that all things unfold within my design. Now I release what you have prayed for, so that the petitions of years past will no longer be dew upon a leaf, but a stream that never runs dry. You will see doors once sealed begin to part, relationships once shattered, mended by love, not resentment, opportunities that slipped away returning in new forms, better, fuller, complete. Your home once lacking joy will become a haven filled with laughter. Your work once barren ground will bloom like a meadow after the first summer rain. And your heart once cracked by many hurts will beat strong again, brimming with love, no longer afraid, no longer doubting. I will bless all that is yours, from the smallest thing to the great dream you barely dared to speak. Know this, when you endured in silence, heaven was silent with you, not the silence of abandonment, but the silence of action. Every delay was a shield guarding what is precious. As a seed lies long in the soil before it breaks through, you too have passed through a dark season to learn patience and to treasure the light. I allowed you to taste lack, not to punish you, but to teach you what fullness truly is. I allowed you to walk through loneliness, not to frighten you, but to help you hear the voice of your own soul. And now that you understand, you will see that everything I have done carries reason, all of it bearing unbounded love. O brave child, do not fear when the winds shift. They signal your turning point. When all around you changes, do not cling to the old, for I am preparing something better. Trust, for within every upheaval, my hand is guiding. What you think is loss is my clearing of the path. What you think is rejection is my protection from what is not yours. What you think is loneliness is my training you to stand firm in your own light. What you think is wandering is in truth the center of the journey prepared for you, a path where you will find yourself unbound from the past. I have seen you fall and I have seen you rise. I have heard your weeping, and I have seen you smile through pain. That resilience bows the courts of heaven and rekindles faith in weary souls. Your story is no longer yours alone. It is a lighthouse for the lost, proof that light never fails though the storm rages. I will use the very wounds you carried to bring healing to others. The scars upon your soul will become emblems of victory. When I say you are stepping into a holy time, I mean you are being surrounded by grace. Doors of opportunity, invitations, new people, all await you ahead. You will recognize that every step bears perfect arrangement. No grasping, no proving, only being who you truly are, and that light will lead the way. Walk with a grateful heart, for gratitude is the key that opens treasures the world cannot buy. And when you look back, you will see how what once made you weep becomes what makes you smile. I have turned your pain into strength, your mistakes into wisdom, your dead ends into new roads. Nothing is wasted, no journey is in vain. Even those who hurt you were part of the design, that you might learn to forgive, not because they deserved it, but because you deserve to be free. Now you are entrusted with power to create, to rebuild, to begin a new chapter with a heart wholly transformed. You are not who you were. You have been tempered in fire, and now you shine like refined gold. Know that delay is not failure, it is preparation. I have waited patiently for you to learn this, so that when blessing arrives, you will know how to keep it, and your joy will not quickly fade. Go and live as one who carries a calling, for you are not only blessed, you are the blessing. Let every place your feet touch kindle with light. Let every word you speak become consolation to those in pain. Let your life be the testimony that faith never fails the one who keeps it. I will be with you in every breath, in every choice, in every dream. When you are weary, I will be warmth. When you are lost, I will be a lamp. When you fall, I will be the hands that lift you up. And when you are mature enough to look back, you will understand that I never left, never kept silent without reason, never forgot. What you have today is not by chance, but the fruit of an unconditional love, a love that has woven your life with threads of hope, perseverance, and faith. Now lift up your head, for your harvest has come. I will multiply all that you have lost, dreams, opportunities, and bonds you thought were broken. You will witness the miracle of restoration, not only in what you possess, but within your very soul. From this moment, live with the knowing that you are chosen, loved, and commissioned. The world may forget your name, but heaven has engraved it in everlasting light. And when others look at you, they will not see merely a person who once stumbled. They will see a sign of grace, a witness to boundless mercy. Your story will go far, not to exalt you, but to make my love known. Go, child of light, for I am with you today, tomorrow, and forever. There are seasons when you felt forgotten, when your cry seemed to echo into emptiness, when the hand you lifted touched only cold wind. Yet in that silence I was shaping your soul with steadfastness. You did not know that each time you chose to trust rather than collapse, a fragment of light was kindled in your depths. Every tear you shed I gathered as pearls, so that in due time that light would shine into places once claimed by darkness. You are not alone in this pilgrimage. You are held in the palm of my hand, where no storm can wound your soul. I do not promise you will never stumble, but I promise that whenever you fall, I, myself, will be the strength by which you rise. I have watched every labored breath, every trembling step in the night, every time you wanted to let go yet clung to prayer. You did not know that precisely when you were spent, my power was made perfect in you. For I do not seek the flawless. I choose those who yield in humility, that my power might shine through their weakness. You once looked into the mirror and saw only the wounded, betrayed, and abandoned, but I see in you a holy warrior forged by sorrow. No loss is meaningless. All things are forming the person I ordained you to be. You have learned to love without demand, to give without calculation, to forgive when you had every right to resent. This is the proof that you are not merely surviving, you are being transformed. Every scar is a witness to victory. Every crack is a passage for the light. I led you through perilous turns, not to test you, but to reveal that not everything lost is loss. Some left you simply because they could not dwell in the light toward which you advance. I must separate you from the old, so there is room for the new. And now as the rain has ceased, you will see the rainbow rise not only across the sky, but within your own soul. Through these years, you thought you were merely trying to survive, but I was teaching you the art of waiting. In every minute of patience, in every time you chose silence over retaliation, I was sowing in you the seeds of glory. When you were misunderstood yet kept your peace, when you were belittled yet needed no defense, you were being ushered into a maturity the world cannot grasp. I lifted you from the crowd not to isolate you, but to sanctify you. Had you stayed in the noise, you would not hear my voice. I need you apart from the clamor to receive the call from the deep. You do not need to strive for position, for I will cause you to be seen in the appointed time. You are not delayed, you are being prepared. When all is quiet, it does not mean I am idle. It is when I quietly lay the stones of your future. You feared that the days you lost would never return, but I tell you, not a second is wasted in my hands. I can use the very years stolen from you to double your blessing. You thought you took a detour, but I have led you by the safest road, though it seemed longer. For I know what awaits at the end, not merely material favor, but true freedom. Freedom from fear, from guilt, from the dark memories. I have loosed the chain of financial bondage from your neck, and I am loosening the invisible chains around your mind. No more nights counting every coin, no more mornings waking to confusion. You will work not in anxiety but in joy, because you know your provision does not come from the world but from heaven. Your name is written in the book of abundance, and every need will be met before you speak. As you enter this new season, remember, I do not only want to bless you, I want to make you a blessing. You have tasted loneliness so you can comfort the forsaken. You have walked through lack so you can share. You have known what it is to be forgotten so you can embrace others with mercy. Now I will enlarge your influence. You will no longer be dismissed or overlooked. Doors that once shut in your face will open of their own accord. I will give weight to your words and place healing in your gaze. When you speak, others will find peace, for your soul has been tempered by trial. You will move among the crowd not as a taker but as a bearer. I am turning you from seeker into giver, from sufferer into source of consolation. And know this, your old wounds are no longer something to hide. They are your crown. Each time you recount the journey you have traveled, you do not boast in pain, you honor me, the one who walked with you through every abyss. Those who once mocked you will fall silent, for my hand upon your life will be unmistakable. I am setting a table before you in their sight, not for revenge, but that you may learn heaven's justice. When they see you restored, they will know I yet act in this world, and you yourself will be the living proof of that mercy. I do not lift you up so you may look down, but so you may reach down and draw others up. Look back on former days, unfinished dreams, broken plans, promises unfulfilled. All of it had purpose. I allowed them to fall because the foundations were not yet firm. Had I let you succeed too early, that very success would have swallowed you. But now that your heart has learned humility and you value quiet strength, I can entrust to you what you were not yet ready to hold. And what I give, no one can take away. This time the blessing will not come and vanish. It will take root deep within you. I am not building your future upon ruins, but upon peace. I will cause you to grow unafraid, for fear is darkness and I am light. You once thought I was late, but I never arrive behind time. My time is not yours. I do not measure by minutes, but by purpose. Each stage bears its meaning, and you are exactly where you need to be. What has been, is, and will be lies within a perfect plan. Do not mourn what has passed. It was the staircase that brought you here. When I say not with them, it is not because you are unworthy, but because you are appointed for more. Some fit only a stretch of the road, not the whole journey. They depart so the empty space can be filled with new grace. Do not look back with bitterness. Look back with gratitude, for every loss made room for something better. I know there were nights you wished to disappear when the world felt too heavy, but hear me, you have never been abandoned. I am there in your breath, in the dim light beyond the window, in each heartbeat that continues when you think you are spent. If I have kept you through the darkest years, why would I leave you when dawn is near? I have begun a work in you, and I will finish it. Take courage, for the harvest draws close. No one can stop what I have ordained. When I say rise, every chain must fall. When I decree the time has come, no power can delay. And now is that time. You are no longer who you were yesterday. You are the proof that darkness cannot conquer light. You are the song of redemption and mercy. As you go with an unburdened heart. The past holds no claim over you. Fear finds no refuge in your soul. Step out with steady feet, a tender heart, and shining eyes. From now on you will live in the land of grace, where storms are stilled and only the whisper of peace remains. And all who look upon you will see not merely one who was once wounded, but a soul reborn steadfast, free, and filled with love. Though you do not yet see all that is unfolding, every step is in my hand. Do not fear this shifting, for nothing in your life occurs outside my will. When old doors close, I do not take what is precious from you. I move you to the place where blessing can grow unhindered. You thought you had to cling to the familiar, but I am teaching you to let go, for only empty hands can receive the new. I have anointed your hands not to hold the little that has passed, but to bear greater charge, to touch what I have prepared. When you feel weak, it is not when I withdraw. It is when I make you steadfast and set within you a strength you did not know you had. I know your limits, and I will not lay a burden beyond what you can bear. You may not see the whole path, but I will walk with you step by step, slow and sure, as a father leads a beloved child through deep waters. My child, do not judge yourself by the present moment. You are in the process of being made new. I am changing your identity from one who struggles to survive to one destined to flourish. I am bringing you out of a life of getting by into a life of overcoming. There will be doubters and mockers and scrutinizing eyes, but do not concern yourself. What I do for you will speak for itself. You need not justify or defend, for I will be your explanation. When they ask how you came so far and overcame every barrier, the only answer will be, the Lord has done this. You do not need to prove anything, for the blessing upon your life will be the clearest testimony. The glory is not yours, but mine, the one who chose, called, commissioned, and upheld you. I am giving you a new name, from borrower to builder. I do not want you to live on what is borrowed from others, ideas, dreams, or faith. I am placing within you my own creative spirit, so you become a source of inspiration, a foundation layer for the generations to come. You will no longer chase after, you will lead. You will no longer hold out your hand to receive, you will stretch out your hands to give. For I am teaching you the principles of the kingdom, where blessing does not spring from luck, but from obedience and wisdom. I am striking your name from the list of the weary, depleted, and defeated, and setting you among those who reign in peace and prudence. You need not seek worldly power, for true power is already within you. Do not think this is merely a change of circumstance. It is a transformation of identity. I do not give you wealth alone, I give you wisdom to steward it. Many may obtain blessing, but only the wise can keep it. I will teach you how to manage to invest, to sow, so that what I place in your hands does not scatter but multiplies. You will see opportunities others miss, for I will open your spiritual eyes to perceive strategies from heaven. You will hear whispers in your spirit, and they will lead you into lands your feet have never trod. I will bring into your life those who carry the spirit of increase. They will not come to compete but to harmonize. They will not come to take but to build with you. I will set you among people of vision, that you might grow within an environment of faith and strategy. You will learn the language of true prosperity, not the hollow kind of the world, but the prosperity born of faithfulness and understanding. You will know that blessing is not for boasting but for service, not for possession but for sharing. Do not fear when I separate you from old ties, for not all can travel with you to higher ground. I am refining your circle, removing those who pull you down and sending those who lift you up. Do not grieve when someone departs. They belong to a former season. I am making all things new. In this season, you will waste no time on fruitless pursuits. I will teach you to use every moment to sow the seeds of the future. You will not merely get through the day, but live with purpose, with direction, as one who bears a mission. My child, I see fear lingering in your heart, fear of failure, of being misunderstood, of loss. Remember, where fear remains, love has not yet been perfected. I love you too much to let you stand forever in the safe shallows. I will push you from the shore so you learn to walk upon the waves. I will set you in places where you must lean on me, that you may know my power is stronger than every wind of life. When you feel alone, remember, I have never left you. I am in the storm, in the tears, in every trembling beat of your heart. You do not know that the years which seemed pointless were in truth the time of your training. I have used failure to teach you humility, waiting to teach you patience, and hurt to teach you compassion. Now that the new season has come, you are ready. I do not need you perfect, I need you to believe. Believe that I am at work, that all things have meaning, that though the world changes, I do not change. When you say, I believe, it is not merely a confession, it is the key that opens every door. It is the voice of your soul, joining heaven's design. When you believe, you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You become my co-laborer in the work of creation. You will see me turn ashes into glory, tears into the oil of gladness, and losses into lessons of splendor. Every scar will tell a story of grace. Every pain will stand as a witness to my faithfulness. I do not promise that you will never face hardship, but I promise that in every hardship you will see me. I will lead you through trials not to wound you, but to prove the strength I have placed within you. You will not collapse as before, for I have strengthened your sinews. I have trained you in silence, so that now you can stand firm amid the noise, and when harvest comes, you will understand why I made you wait. I will cause blessing to overflow not only into your purse, but into your heart, your household, your work, and your sphere of influence. You will become a living testimony to the world that God still moves among humankind. People will look at your life and know that true favor does not come from men but from me, the giver, who grants not by merit but by love. Therefore, my child, walk with steadfast faith. Carry the heart of the chosen, the hands of the anointed, and the eyes of one who sees beyond the present. Step boldly into the new season, for I have gone before you, prepared the way, shattered the chains, and opened wide the gates of glory. All that you once lost will be restored, not merely double but many times over in ways only I can do. Remember this, I do not merely will that you exist, I will that you prosper, not merely survive but live in glory. Rise, wipe your tears, lift your head, because you are chosen to bear the imprint of the kingdom. Say, I believe. For when you believe, heaven and earth will move. What seemed impossible will become possible. And every promise I have spoken will be fulfilled in your life. My child, tonight I enter the holy quiet of your soul like a gentle breeze, touching a mind weighed down by the cares of daily bread. I see your eyes fixed on the numbers on the screen, feel your heart tighten when the bills arrive, and hear the sigh you press down in your chest as the balance runs low. But fear no more, for I, the maker of heaven and earth, have seen it all, and today I decide to break the pattern of fear that is lodged in your thinking. I did not create you to live bound by lack. I formed you to dwell in the river of heavenly abundance. You believed when others doubted, you prayed when many fell silent, you sowed when the ground was dry, and now I have come to reward that faith. Not a single seed you sowed in tears has fallen into oblivion, for my own hands have gathered every drop of trust to weave a bountiful harvest. My child, I am the source of all wealth, the one who holds the keys to heaven's treasury. When you run after me, provision will run after you. When you set your heart on my kingdom, resources will pour down like rain after drought. Do not flinch at the scoffer's voice. They have not yet seen my light shining through you. Be steady, for I am working in the quiet. My peace will replace your anxiety. Where fear once ruled, I lay a foundation of unshakable rest. I have not come to give you the hollow riches of the world, but to open the door to enduring blessing, the blessing of peace, of freedom, of a heart that knows contentment. You once thought abundance meant having much, but I tell you, abundance is when you are no longer ruled by what you possess. I will teach you to steward money with a free spirit, so it becomes an instrument of love rather than a shackle of fear. When you place me first in all things, I will reorder your entire life, so that work, family, and even unfinished dreams harmonize with the sacred rhythm I have ordained. I know you have grown weary and wondered if I forgot my promise. But my child, I am never late. The seed of faith you planted lay deep in the soil, and today it begins to break through. Every battle you faced, every time you thought you would fall, was preparation for this moment. The enemy knew you were chosen and sought to topple you, but I have covered you with my mighty hand. Your tears were not wasted. They watered the ground of blessing now in bloom. Tonight I declare, your season has arrived. Every chain of fear is broken, every specter of poverty is dispelled, and the light of my abundance is beginning to shine. I decree that you are Joseph in your household, the one I raise up in a time of scarcity. As Joseph knew the pit of betrayal and the long years of being forgotten, you too have walked through the shadows of trial. Yet like a seed buried in dark soil that can sprout only there, you are entering your season of fruitfulness. I have used the lean days to forge you into one of vision, a partner with me in the work of the kingdom. You will no longer be merely a receiver of blessing, but a giver, no longer a beggar, but a conduit of grace. The river of abundance I pour into you will flow into your family, your friends, and even those you have yet to meet. Your home will carry the imprint of my favor, a refuge where others come to taste peace. Your children will inherit not only material provision, but a legacy of faith, resilience, and confidence in supernatural supply. The enemy tried to make you believe you were forgotten, but in truth I kept you hidden in my arms, preparing you for the day of honor. Now I open the heavens over you so that what was once withheld is released. My child, when I say seek first my kingdom, it is not a dry command but a loving invitation. For when you seek me, you find the very source of your life. I am not distant or abstract. I am in the rhythm of your heartbeat and in the glance you lift to the sky each night. You need not climb a mountain or enter a grand temple to meet me. Be still, and I am present. When you work with the awareness that I walk with you each step, you will not fear failure. I will put words of wisdom in your mouth, plant fresh ideas in your mind, and open doors you did not expect. Learn to move with that leading, for true blessing is not in what you grip, but in whom you trust. Each time you choose faith over fear, you add another story to the house of your faith. Each time you give thanks before seeing the result, you lay the foundation for a miracle. I love your grateful heart, for gratitude is the language of heaven. When you give thanks, you are in rhythm with me, the giver, who never ceases to give. Guard a tender heart, for only in compassion and generosity can blessing remain long. I will teach you the stewardship of a faithful servant, how to receive, to keep, and to release. Whenever you give in faith, I will pour more. Whenever you help another, I will open another storehouse of favor. I do not want you to be a hoarder, but a river that never runs dry, because it is always giving. Learn to see blessing not only in money, but in relationships restored, and in the joy you feel when you help someone through suffering. Each act of sharing mirrors my nature, the God who gives without calculation. Living in that spirit, you will see all you do prosper. Your work will bear fruit, your ideas will multiply, and your name will be respected, not for power, but because you live in love. You will stand at peace amid a turbulent world, for I am the root of your peace. When storms rise, remember, it is often in the tempest that I reveal myself. You will no longer tremble at the sight of bills, for you know I am the one who provides. You will no longer fret over tomorrow, for you know I have already authored your future. My child, I have planted within you the seed of sacred prosperity, a prosperity not tied to markets or economies, but to your trust in me. Listen, my child, tonight is your sacred hour. You are not reading these words by chance. I appointed this moment before you ever knew it. I am speaking to your very soul, calling you out of the shadow of fear into the light of peace and freedom. Open your hands and do not close your heart, for what is coming will be so abundant, your storehouses will have no room. I will cause blessing to fall on your life, not only like a shower, but like a cascade, mighty, continuous, unending. You will watch life change day by day, work restored, doors opened, families mended, and your soul filled with joy. I do not work halfway. What I begin, I complete. Today I declare it is finished. You need only believe, and I will do it. Remember, you no longer have to chase blessing, for blessing is chasing you. From now on, wherever you dwell will bear the mark of grace. People will look at you and know that I live. Walk in faith, for I have chosen you to be a bearer of supply in a time of lack. Through you, blessing will flow to generations like fragrance carried on the morning wind. You are a lamp I have set upon a hill, a witness that whoever trusts in me will never lack. And when the world asks, "How are you at peace in the storm?" you will smile and answer, "Because my God never changes." Be steadfast, my child, for tonight I have accomplished all things, and from this moment your life is made new. My child, when I begin to lift you up, you will feel the change, not only in your circumstances, but in your very breath, your pace, and your gaze. What once frightened you will grow small, for your heart has been tempered in the furnace of trial. The hard years will no longer be a burden, but proof of the strength of faith. You will realize that just when you thought you had nothing left, I sowed a seed of resilience in you. Just when you thought every door had closed, I opened a path no one imagined. Life will cease to be a gray chain of worries and become a sacred journey where every step bears the imprint of grace. You will learn to see the world with new eyes, the eyes of gratitude. Instead of murmuring over what you lack, you will rejoice in the small gifts you already hold. Each morning before the sun wakes, you will smile, knowing you have another chance to love, to serve, to become better. When you give thanks even for what is unfinished, I will perfect what is lacking. I do not fix my gaze on your failures. I behold the boundless potential I placed within you. And once you discover that you are loved without condition, fear will melt like dew under the rising Sunday. I want you to understand that financial breakthrough is only the visible tip of the mountain of blessing. The deeper portion is the change of mind, when you are no longer a slave to money but employ it as a tool to sow love. I will make you a faithful steward of great things because I see a heart freed from selfishness. When you give with joy, the flow of blessing will never run dry. You will become a channel, and that very flow will cleanse every impurity in your soul. I will open your hands to receive and also to share, for only the hand that releases can truly hold. There will be times I lead you into silence, for it is in silence that I speak the loudest. When the world's noise fades, you will hear my voice clearly. Do not fear seasons that seem lonely. In them I am digging your foundations deep. No one builds high without first digging low. Each tear you shed is a stone in the footing of your future. I waste nothing, not your pain, not your failures, not the moments you were misunderstood. All are materials I use to shape you more into my likeness. When the season of testing passes, you will see that what once made you stumble has become the staircase lifting you higher. Those who left you will become memories that teach you gratitude. You will smile when you look back without bitterness, knowing that without them you would never have learned how to stand alone with me. Blame no one, resent nothing, for each one played their part in the script I ordained. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it is seeing my hand even in the hurt. When you forgive, you are free, and when you are free, blessing flows like an unstoppable stream. You will understand that every delay held a purpose. I am never late. I was waiting until you were strong enough to carry blessing without being crushed by it. Just as a father does not hand car keys to a child who has not learned to drive, I do not entrust great favors to an unformed soul. But now you have matured, you are seasoned by waiting. Therefore I will open the door I once held back. I will cause everything you touch to blossom, for there is no longer the scent of resentment in you, but the fragrance of faith. Do not be surprised when I place you in positions you once thought you did not deserve. I know your true worth. You have endured the hard training. Now I clothe you with the robe of honor. When people see you lifted up, they will not understand that it is not a sudden success, but the harvest of years spent sowing in secret. I saw every time you chose faithfulness when no one was watching, every time you chose silence over retaliation, every time you chose to trust without any guarantee. I have remembered it all, and now heaven opens to answer that faith. You will watch me change even how you see yourself. You once thought you were small, but I call you a lamp set on a hill. You once thought you were made merely to get by, but I say you were born to shine. You once measured yourself against others, but I placed within you what no one can copy. When you cease chasing shadows and begin to live fully in the calling I have given, peace will flood your being. That peace does not come from what you own, but from knowing to whom you belong. Remember, my child, the breakthrough I give is enduring. No current can sweep it away. It does not rest on markets, is not confined by numbers, and does not depend on the favor of men. It stands on my faithfulness, the one who never changes. Every storm will pass, but what I establish remains. You will find you no longer fear the shifts of people or the turbulence of circumstance, for your trust is anchored in me. This is the summit of blessing, to live at peace in the tempest, to be secure amid upheaval. One day you will step out and look back on the whole journey, and you will see that every sorrow, every bend in the road, every fall had its reason. You will understand why I allowed the storms, why I let you lose, why I left you alone in a cold room, for without those moments you would not have learned to lean on me. When you have nowhere else to rest, you discover that I, myself, am your only refuge. And when you have found me, you have found everything. I will set within you a new passion, not the ambition of the ego, but the longing to bring light to others. You will become a source of inspiration, a torch guiding wandering souls. The very wounds you once carried will become a living testimony that love can heal all things. I will use your voice, your hands, your eyes, to touch those whom I love. You will no longer need to prove anything, for your very presence will be testimony enough. When you live true to that purpose, I will make all things work together for your good. The good and the bad, the fortune and the trial, everything will blend into the music of grace. I will make the enemy regret ever touching you, for what he used to harm you will become the tool I use to lift you up. What was taken will be restored, but in a form more beautiful, more complete, more radiant. My child, lift up your head, for your light has come. Nothing binds you to the past any longer. The doors of provision, of sacred recompense, of overflowing blessing are standing open. All that I have promised will be fulfilled, not a word lacking. I am the one who began the good work in you, and I will bring it to completion until the very last day. Do not fear, do not doubt, for I never do anything halfway. When I touch something, it is made completely new, and you are the living proof of it. From this day forward, walk as one who has been raised to life. Do not look back at the ashes, look toward the coming dawn. Do not fear failure, for each failure is a rung on the ladder to victory. Tell your heart that you are loved, chosen, protected, provided for. Let faith become the flame within you, burning away every doubt, every fear, every limit. You will not merely survive, you will shine. You will not only be blessed, you will become a blessing to others. And as you live this way, heaven will smile, earth will rejoice, and I, the one who loves you with an unchanging love, will look upon you and say, "This is the child in whom I am well pleased." The blessing I give you is not for you to keep for yourself, but for you to become a channel of grace, like a river that never runs dry, because it does not hold water for itself, but flows on to bring life to barren ground. I do not seek the rich and powerful. I seek hearts that open, that share, that allow me to use them as instruments to restore the world. True grace lies not in possessing, but in giving. You are blessed not merely to have enough, but to be of use. Not only to see your debts cleared, but to become one who cancels the debts of others, the debts of love, forgiveness, and faith. When you understand that the blessing does not stop with you, you step into a new level, living as one who is sent. My child, have you considered that I place you in familiar circumstances so that you may bring a new response? The people you meet again are not by accident. I want you to be a witness to them. Places that once wounded, you will become stages for mercy. Those who once made you weep, you will be the one to wipe their tears. This is the circle of grace, when the healed becomes the healer, when the forsaken becomes the one who receives others. A blessing is not truly complete until you use it to rebuild another. If you only receive, you will be full for a moment and then empty again. But when you give, you open a stream that never ceases. Do not fear when I lead you into ruins, for I do not bring you there to collapse, but to carry light. I let you pass through suffering so you would learn how to hold the hurting. I let you taste lack so you would know how to share with the poor. No experience in your life is wasted. I weave them all into a meaningful tapestry. Remember, when I lift you up, it is not so you may be admired, but so you may see farther, to notice others' pain and not turn away. True glory is not found on a throne, but in stooping with love. You have learned to trust. Now I want you to learn to give. Do not keep the light for yourself, for light has meaning only when it shines for others. I will set you among those who have lost their way, and I will use you as a lamp. You may not need many words, simply to be present in love and patience. At times, your inner peace alone will draw others to me. Let your life become the letter I write to the world, not in ink, but in deeds. Let every act and every word carry the fragrance of heaven. But know this, when you carry blessing, you also carry responsibility. There will be times when you feel alone, for not everyone will understand you. Some who once walked with you will stop along the way, for they are not yet ready to go as far as you. Do not grieve, you have not been abandoned. You are simply on the right path. I am bringing you to the place where loneliness becomes communion with me, where every emptiness is filled by my presence. When you feel that no one understands, remember that I do. I have known deeper loneliness than anyone, and in that very loneliness I saved the world. I am forging you into a bearer, not a dependent. The mission is not for the faint of heart, but for those who know how to kneel. Remember, the truly strong are not those who never weep, but those who rise after tears, who can smile while still in pain, who believe while the way is still unclear. I chose you not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to be shaped. I do not need you to have everything. I need you to have faith, and I will take care of the rest. One day when you look back, you will see that what seemed random was a planned miracle. You will realize without the nights you would never have prized the dawn. Without rejection you would not have learned patience. Without being broken you would not understand restoration. You will see that every trial was a lesson, every delay, an opportunity to mature, every pain, a door to a deeper blessing, and you will smile without complaint because now you know I have always had a reason. When I place the anointing of Joseph upon you, it is not only that you may dream, but that you may become the dream of others. You will not only interpret a king's vision, you will help the lowly see hope. You will be one who reconciles power with kindness, wisdom with faith. I am enlarging your influence not to exalt you, but that many may know my name through you. From the places where you once bowed your head, you will rise to bear witness. From the corners that once brought you shame, you will stand tall and say, I have been saved and I am being renewed day by day. I will cause your work to flourish, not for boasting, but for offering. I will make your voice heard, not for your pride, but so you can speak for those who cannot. I will place resources in your hands, not for hoarding, but for building. Every coin you hold can bear heaven's imprint if you let me guide you. Do not fear loss, for you serve the one who never runs dry. When you learn to give without calculation, you will experience inexhaustible supply. I do not look at the amount you have, I look at the heart you give. And when the world shifts and true values are overturned, I will use you as a landmark in the chaos of life. You will not need to shout to prove your faith. Simply live differently, and they will see. You will walk through the dark and still be radiant, for the light within you does not come from the world. I will make your words a source of comfort, and your actions small miracles that can melt the ice around another's heart. Remember, the greatest blessing is not wealth, but peace. Peace does not come because everything is perfect, but because you know I reign. When you trust me, fear loses its footing. When you surrender, anxiety dissolves. Live lightly, for you know who is writing your story. Whatever may happen, you can still smile, for you know the ending is already set. The victory is yours. One day you will see, you no longer have to chase blessings, for blessings are chasing you. People will come to you not for your fame, but because they sense in you what they seek: true love, true faith, true peace. You will become a refuge for weary souls, a mirror reflecting me. All that you endured will no longer be meaningless, for it has become light for the path ahead. I say to you, do not fear to step out. Every time you step out in faith, heaven trembles. Every time you dare to believe what I promised before you see a thing, you open the door to miracles. Do not look at yourself. Look at me, the one who turns deserts into gardens, who brings water from the rock, who raises the dead. I am still I, yesterday, today, and forever. If I once rescued you from the depths, there is no reason I would let you fall on the plain. From here on, your journey will no longer be about seeking blessing, but about sowing blessing. You will become one I can trust to pour out. Each morning when you wake, I will place heaven's ideas in your heart. Each night when you sleep, I will keep you in peace. What you touch will bear fruit, not because you are skillful, but because I am with you. Those who once looked down on you will come seeking counsel, not because you are grand, but because the light within you awakens their longing. You will live, not to prove, but to reveal my love in everything you do. And when you look over your life, you will see one thing clearly: every trial bears my hand, every blessing bears my seal, and every honor returns to me. Nothing is random, nothing is meaningless. You need only to keep going, to keep loving, to keep believing. For I, the one who called you out of darkness, will lead you into glorious light. And when the world hears your story, they will not only praise you, they will say, truly, God is alive and at work among us. And now, as a new dawn spreads along the horizon of your soul, I want you to lift your head and look straight into that light, for it is not merely the light of a new day, but the beginning of a new era in your life. What once seemed shut is stirring. What once lay barren is cracking open to sprout. Every hidden prayer is being answered in visible ways. I am not merely blessing you. I am reshaping your whole life, how you see, how you trust, how you love. You will realize that miracles are not always loud and blazing. Sometimes a miracle is simple peace in the storm, a small smile when hope seems gone. yet those small things open the gates of heaven in your mind. Do not be surprised if I lead you where you never thought you would tread. I am enlarging your borders not just in the material but in vision and faith. The place where you once trembled will be the ground of your triumph. The place where you once fell will be where you rise stronger. I will astonish those who mocked you not by vengeance, but by revealing my glory through you. The very arms that once pushed you away will open to receive you, for they will see that no one can hinder what I ordain. Do not worry about the time you think you have lost. With me, nothing is wasted. Every day you cried, every second you waited has been recorded in heaven's book. The time that seemed to slip away I will redeem, and I will enable you to accomplish in 1 year what others need decades to do. I will restore not only what you lost, but many times more. I will open doors no one can shut and close doors that would harm you even before you see the danger. Do not cling to the past. It no longer feeds your soul. Look ahead where I wait for you with open arms. You do not need to do everything yourself. You need only to step into the light I set before you. You may not see the whole road, only the next step. For I have not called you to live by eyesight, but by the sight of faith. If you wait until everything is clear, you will never move. Trust that I am leading, even when all you see is darkness. For in the dark I am forging you into one who carries fire. And when that fire burns bright, it will guide those groping around you. Do not fear the voices that oppose you. Do not let criticism make you falter. The enemy does not attack what is worthless. It assails you because it knows you carry the seeds of the kingdom within. It fears what you will become. But remember, every scheme against you will recoil upon itself. I have set a hedge around you, and no power can break it while you stand in faith. When you speak faith, heaven answers. When you proclaim life, darkness must retreat. You carry authority not because you are flawless, but because you are chosen. And my choosing is grounded not in merit, but in grace. I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to live abundantly. I do not want you only to hold the line. I want you to conquer. Therefore, do not settle for the average when I have appointed the extraordinary. You were not made to repeat, but to illumine. You were not called to blend in, but to stand out with the light of truth and love. Let your kindness be your language. Let your faith be your banner. As you pass through this life, I want others to see your footprints and say that one has walked with God. Do not fear change. It is through change that I am leading you to a truer, better version of yourself. You cannot step into a new season with an old mind. Let me renew your thoughts, enlarge your vision, and trade your doubts for assurance. You are not losing control, you are learning to trust. I know you have been hurt by trust misplaced, but this time place it in me. I do not promise you will never feel pain, but I promise no pain will be pointless. Every tear will water the field of blessings about to burst into bloom in your life. When you see others succeed, do not feel small. Know that I am at work in you as well. I have a distinct plan for each child, and the timing is not the same for everyone. Do not let comparison choke your joy. Rejoice when others are lifted, for it is a sign that your season is drawing near. Bless them sincerely, and you will see blessing mirror back to you. Remember, you are not in a race, you are in training. Life is not a contest. It is a pilgrimage into my faithfulness. There will be days you feel spent as if nothing is left to give, yet in such moments, my grace overflows more than ever. When you are weak, I am strong. When you stop, I continue. When your hands are empty, I will fill them with what you did not expect. Do not worry about being enough, for you were never called to be enough. You are called to depend on the one who is always enough. I do not need you to be strong. I need you to be willing. Simply say, yes, I believe, and I will do the rest. Engrave this upon your heart. You are living proof that grace triumphs over all. People may have mocked your past, but they will not be able to deny your present. What I am doing in you cannot remain hidden. It will shine through your eyes, your voice, the way you treat others. People will sense the peace you carry, the stillness of one who knows to whom they belong. You will no longer chase recognition, for you are affirmed by the Creator Himself. You will no longer scramble for a place, for I have prepared one for you to stand. I am causing your name to be spoken in rooms you have never entered. I am placing you upon the hearts of decision-makers, so they think of you though you have not met. They will call your name not by luck but by my ordering. Opportunity will knock not once but many times. Yet remember, do not chase opportunity. Walk by. My leading for the wrong door can be a snare, but my guidance always leads to life. When you stand where I want you, blessing will find you without your pursuit. You are in a season of enlargement, not for display, but to reveal my glory. Make room in your heart, your home, and your dreams for what is coming. Blessing will not trickle, it will pour. You will not beg like the destitute, you will rise as an heir. Remember, you are not borrowing, you are receiving your inheritance. You need not strive, for what is yours cannot be taken by another. When I say I still sit on the throne, it means I still hold every detail. Nothing lies beyond my reach, be it the number in your account, a missed call, or a closed door. All of it belongs to the grand score I am composing for your life. You see single notes, I hear the whole symphony. Trust that I am arranging all things into a melody so beautiful that even angels pause in flight to listen, and when that song swells, you will know every sorrowing note had its purpose. Now prepare to enter the harvest. Do not carry the baggage of fear, for it only weighs you down. Leave the past as one leaves a worn garment. Step in with gratitude, for gratitude is the key that opens heaven's doors. Every thank you you speak is a seed in good soil, and I will make it multiply 100-fold. Give thanks not only when all is well, but when nothing is yet in sight, for gratitude in trial is faith at its strongest. I will reward that faith with what eye has not seen and ear has not heard. Live as one already promised, unafraid, unshrinking, undoubting. When you believe, heaven opens. When you step, the earth responds. When you speak, the wind heeds. All creation waits for you to rise and declare what I have placed within you. You are not merely a receiver of blessing, you are a bearer of blessing. You will heal with your words, hearten with your gaze, and carry hope into desolate places. You will be a living witness that God still moves, still speaks, still loves. And when the world asks how you stand steady in the storm, you will smile and say, because I know the one who promised me is faithful. I have seen you walk through tempests pretending to be strong while your heart was breaking. I know you have asked, why me? Precisely because of you, steadfast child, I have chosen you to be an example to those who follow. What you carry is not merely your story. It is a torch that helps others dare to believe, to live, to overcome. For I know deep within you there is a kindness that cannot be quenched. You have been wounded and misunderstood, yet you have refused to harden your heart. You still choose love, still choose trust, knowing it may cost you again. That is what makes you strongest in my sight, not that you do not fear, but that you face your fear and keep walking. Remember this, child of light. I did not make you a victim of circumstance, but one who turns circumstance into wisdom. I have planted in you the power of resurrection so that no matter how many times you are thrown down, you rise steadier than before. Those who doubted you will witness wonders, not so you can retaliate, but so they may know that when a soul is touched by true love, nothing can stop renewal. All that was stolen, joy, opportunity, honor, even your dreams, I will restore not merely twice over, but many times more. I will make your enemies regret they ever struck you, for they did not know that every wound only rooted you deeper in faith, stronger, richer, and closer to me than ever. Soon you will see that when I say this is a sacred time, it is not a common season but the doorway into your true calling. Long-cherished hopes will begin to unfold in ways you did not foresee. People will be drawn to you not because you sought them, but because the light within you draws them near. You need not scramble for position, for your place has long been prepared. Where I set you, none can dislodge you. Where I open a way, no power can bar it. Walk in the quiet of faith, and I will let the fruit speak. Do not fear changes. They do not come to take, but to set things in order. Those who depart do so with my leave, for they no longer belong to your future. Doors that close are shut by me because I know what would stall you within. When another door opens, do not hesitate. That path is written with your name. I will give you wisdom to know what is yours and what to release. Not every invitation is from me, but I will teach you to discern heaven's call from the world's enticement. As you pass through the valley of doubts, do not stare at the shadows. Look to the flame burning within. That flame is proof that I am with you. You need prove nothing, only live true to the love I lodged in your heart. Let your words carry peace, your actions become blessing, your presence make others feel the light. Live so, and heaven will work with you, for when your heart aligns with my intent, human limits fall away. Understand this as well. The new road will not be without trials, but this time you will not face them alone. When obstacles appear, do not panic. Remember, I have gone before to clear the way. You will learn to walk in peace amid the storm, for you know who commands the winds. Hold fast to faith, even when you see nothing, for miracles often arrive when hope seems gone. I do not need you strong at every moment. I need you faithful. For faith is not a feeling, but a choice. The choice to trust without understanding, to stand firm when nothing is visible but the night. You will no longer be the wounded one seeking shelter, but the healer of others. You will speak words that help people find their faith again. Take the hands of the hopeless and say, I understand. I have been there too. In that moment, you will discover a deeper joy, the joy not of gaining, but of giving. As you lift others, you will know you yourself are truly healed. Beloved child, this is the season in which I will make you shine, not with the glare of worldly fame, but with the light of a reborn soul. You will be known not for your greatness, but because the love within you cannot be concealed. I will astonish those who once belittled you, not to prove a point, but to show the power of trust. Where you once failed, you will overcome. Dreams you once buried, I will make them bloom. Hands once outstretched in loneliness will now be held in love and honor. Live with a grateful heart, for gratitude keeps you tender in a hardened world. Forgive, for forgiveness keeps your soul free. Love, for love alone endures when all else fades. And above all, remember, you never walk alone. I am there in your laughter, in your tears, in the small things that carry wonder. Each time you lift your eyes to the sky, know that I am smiling over you, proud that the child who was once fragile now carries the light. And when you have finished your mission, when you recount your story to those who come after, they will see a journey of resilience, of faith, of unquenchable love. They will see that no pain was wasted, no waiting forgotten, no prayer lost in the void. All was heard, recorded, and transformed into blessing. Go on, my child, for the light you bear does not shine for you alone. It leads many souls home. Now that your soul is awakened and your heart brims with fresh faith, open yourself like a blossom to the light and lift to me the truest prayers, not only with your lips, but with every breath, every tear, every deepest longing within you. O Almighty God, who made the heavens, the earth, and every breath within me today, I come before you, not with full hands, but with a laid bare heart. Wash the old wounds that still bleed within, the fears that hide behind my smile, the bewilderment that lingers in my mind. Grant me strength to believe when I cannot see, to walk when the path is fogged, to love though my heart has been shattered. Remind me that every sorrow is but a husk for the blessing waiting to break open. When I am weak, be my strength. When I am lost, be the lamp to my feet. I believe that through the wound, you are teaching me to behold the beauty of healing. Heavenly Father, fountain of every good gift I offer, you, a small soul that has often been foolish, that has chosen fear over trust. Forgive the times I doubted your kindness, the hours I grew so weary I forgot you still held my hand. Give me a tender heart that forgives even those who hurt me. Teach me to see light within the very darkness I traverse. Grant me a faith stronger than the storm, so that when trials gather I do not tremble, but know you remain in control. Use my life as a candle spent to warm and guide others, even if only ashes remain. Almighty God, I bow in gratitude that you did not let me collapse in the gale. What I thought were endings became the thresholds of new grace. Thank you for using tears to cleanse my soul adversity, to teach me steadfastness, solitude, to lead me back to you. Without those long nights, I would not know the light of dawn. From this day, I choose to live each moment as a thank offering, knowing you are breathing in every beat of my life. Father, I give you my profound thanks for making my life meaningful, even in its broken pieces. Thank you for teaching me that grace is not earned by my perfection, but proven by your refusal to give up on me. Thank you for your gentle presence in the days I felt most alone. I know that without your love I could not stand. Receive this gratitude like incense, not because I deserve, but because you are good. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so together we can build a strong and thriving community of faith.